and the chaos of World War II, few battles were as brutal, desperate, and decisive as the fight at Kohima, often referred to as the Stalingrad of the East. This battle was not merely a clash of forces. It was a pivotal turning point in the war's Southeast Asian theater. Kohima's outcome was determined by a cunning strategy rather than sheer force. A masterstroke of deception, resilience, and relentless willpower that ultimately shattered Japan's advance into India. Here's the story of the mastermind strategy that completely wrecked Japan, a tale of both genius and grit that changed the course of history. By 1944, Japan's empire spanned much of Asia, fueled by its vision of a greater East Asia co-prosperity sphere, a block of territories under Japanese leadership. For Japan, this expansion aimed at liberating Asia from Western colonial powers, but the real goal was securing resources and strategic dominance. Conquering British India was seen as a key step in this vision. Success would disrupt Allied support for China, bolster Japan's hold in Burma, and spark anti-colonial sentiment in India. Lieutenant General Renya Mutaguchi spearheaded Japan's campaign, Operation U-Go, targeting the twin strongholds of Imphal and Kohima. Kohima's strategic location made it invaluable. Its ridge overlooked vital supply lines, and controlling it would choke the Allied forces' ability to sustain operations in the region. Confident in his seasoned and motivated troops, Mutaguchi saw the conquest of Kohima as a gateway to an unstoppable advance into India, dealing a crippling blow to British power in Asia. Japan's strategy relied on mobility, surprise, and overwhelming force. Japanese soldiers pushed through dense jungles and rugged mountains, braving grueling terrain to encircle Kohima and cut off its defenders from reinforcements. Their guerrilla tactics, combined with relentless assaults, aimed to wear down Allied positions before initiating a full-scale siege. For the Japanese troops, the mission was clear: capture Kohima at all costs and use it to tip the balance of power in Asia. Unbeknownst to them, the Allied defense was led by General William Slim, commander of the British 14th Army, a seasoned strategist with a deep understanding of the terrain and the logistical challenges both sides faced. Slim's brilliance lay in turning the situation to his advantage, exploiting the region's harsh conditions to weaken the Japanese offensive. His plan relied on endurance, attrition, and exploiting Japan's overstretched supply lines, a slow but devastating approach to draining the enemy's resources and morale. As the Japanese forces converged on Kohima, Slim instructed his men to fortify their positions and hold the line at all costs. Kohima's defenders, a mix of British, Indian, and Gurkha soldiers numbering roughly 2,500, braced themselves for the onslaught of 500 Japanese troops. Despite being outnumbered, these soldiers understood the importance of their mission. They weren't just defending a ridge, they were holding the key to stopping Japan's advance into India. The siege began with relentless artillery fire pounding Kohima Ridge, a barrage that turned the lush jungle into a nightmarish battlefield. Trenches became mud-soaked death traps, and the air was thick with smoke and the screams of the wounded. Japanese forces advanced inch by inch, tightening their grip on the ridge and pushing the defenders into increasingly desperate positions. The fighting reached a climax at a small tennis court on the ridge, where soldiers on both sides fought with an intensity rarely seen in modern warfare. This tennis court, now immortalized, became a symbol of the battle's ferocity, where grenades and bayonets often replaced bullets in the brutal close-quarters combat. Slim's strategy began to show its brilliance as the siege dragged on. He had anticipated that the Japanese army's long supply lines and the unforgiving terrain would work against them. Every day the defenders held out, the Japanese consumed precious resources they could ill afford to lose. Meanwhile, Slim worked tirelessly to coordinate reinforcements. Using the mountainous terrain to their advantage, fresh Allied troops began making their way toward Kohima from Imphal, bringing with them much-needed supplies and renewed fighting spirit. The turning point came in April when reinforcements broke through the Japanese lines and joined the defenders at Kohima. With their numbers bolstered, the Allies launched a counteroffensive. Slim's plan was methodical, aiming to retake the ridge yard by yard while minimizing unnecessary risks. Allied troops used coordinated assaults to push the Japanese back, capitalizing on their exhaustion and dwindling supplies. What had once been a strong Japanese siege line began to crumble under the relentless pressure of the Allied counterattack. For the Japanese soldiers, the situation grew increasingly dire. Cut off from reinforcements and suffering from disease, malnutrition, and fatigue, their morale plummeted. Mutaguchi, stubbornly refusing to retreat, pressed his forces to hold their positions, but the tide had turned. The rugged terrain that had once been an advantage for the Japanese now became their greatest enemy, as Allied forces reclaimed ground and drove the attackers into a full retreat. The victory at Kohima marked a critical turning point in the war's Southeast Asian theater. Japan's ambitions to invade India were crushed, and their forces in Burma were put on the defensive for the first time. Slim's calculated strategy had not only saved Kohima, but also set the stage for a broader Allied offensive that would eventually reclaim much of Burma. The psychological impact of the victory was immense, demonstrating that the seemingly unstoppable Japanese army could be defeated through resilience and strategic brilliance. One key element of Slim's success was his ability to inspire trust and cohesion among his diverse forces. Indian, British, and Gurkha soldiers, hailing from different backgrounds and cultures, fought shoulder to shoulder under Slim's leadership. Their shared determination to hold Kohima, despite differences in language, traditions, and histories, highlighted the power of unity in the face of adversity. This camaraderie not only helped win the battle, but also left a lasting legacy of cooperation that influenced post-war alliances and decolonization efforts. Additionally, the battle's victory underscored the importance of logistics and preparation in warfare. Slim's meticulous planning and emphasis on supply chains, even in such remote and inhospitable terrain, served as a blueprint for future military campaigns. It was a stark contrast to Japan's overconfidence and lack of foresight in sustaining their forces, proving that a well-supported army could outlast even the most determined adversary. Kohima became a lesson in how preparation and strategic adaptability could overcome even overwhelming odds. Kohima's legacy extends far beyond the battlefield. For the soldiers who fought there, the battle was a testament to the human spirit's ability to endure even the most harrowing circumstances. The Kohima War Cemetery, established to honor those who fell, bears an inscription that captures the battle's essence. When you go home, tell them of us and say, "For your tomorrow, we gave our today." This epitaph serves as a reminder of the sacrifices made and the enduring values of unity and courage. The lessons of Kohima have been studied in military academies worldwide, offering insights into the power of strategy, the importance of logistics, and the role of morale in warfare. Slim's approach to calculated attrition and the effective use of terrain has influenced military thinking in conflicts ranging from Vietnam to Afghanistan. Kohima's story remains a powerful example of how determination and ingenuity can overcome even the most daunting challenges. In the aftermath of the war, the battle's significance resonated politically as well. For Indian soldiers who fought at Kohima, their bravery became a source of pride and a symbol of India's capability and readiness for independence. The shared sacrifices of Indian, British, and Gurkha troops at Kohima strengthened the bonds between these groups and left a legacy of cooperation that would shape post-war geopolitics. Today, the Battle of Kohima is remembered not only as a military victory, but also as a story of resilience, unity, and sacrifice. It serves as a reminder that even the smallest points on a map can become arenas where history is made, and the values of courage and endurance are tested. Kohima's enduring legacy continues to inspire, reminding us of the profound impact of collective effort and strategic leadership in shaping the course of history. Beyond its military importance, Kohima carries symbolic weight as an emblem of what can be achieved when individuals from diverse backgrounds work together for a common cause. The battle demonstrated the importance of strategic foresight, adaptability, and the will to persevere under extreme adversity. Kohima Ridge became a crucible where heroes were forged, and the ripples of their courage continue to resonate through history, reminding us that even in the face of overwhelming odds, victory is possible through unity, strategy, and unyielding resolve.